When it comes to Druid decks, I am their biggest fanboy. Mr. Yagud has hit rank 1 legend with his take of Undead Druid, and I'm just going to go ahead and get things started off right, because this deck is by far one of the most fun decks that I have played, to where I'm sitting at rank 660 with this deck, and just, here are my stats, man. 56 and 40 with this list ever since I started playing it about 2 days ago. Like, my list is cool, but this list wins games consistently, so let's go ahead and jump into what exactly is going on with this deck, because, well, not this deck right here. This is the aggro version that is definitely not good. But I will tell you right now that this is just damn near the perfect 30, and I do want to break down some of these decisions because I already know, I can hear you guys typing. I can hear you guys typing away saying that Doomkin is absolutely stupid. Why on earth will we play this card? We'll get into that here in a second. But let me go ahead and tell you why this deck is powerful and why I believe it might actually be one of the strongest decks that you can take into Legend right now. Before we do any of that, I have to give one slight disclaimer. This deck is awful against Paladins, so if you're only seeing Paladins, this deck's probably not going to be the greatest thing to play. However, I will argue that that's not even that much of a disadvantage, because even though I have been seeing a lot of Paladins as like my most common matchup, I am still beating everything else. 6-2 against Warrior, 4-1 against Rogue, 7-3 against Priest, 4-2 against Mage, and honestly, I'm surprised that we're not seeing more Mage players, but this is such a good matchup, it's ridiculous. 9-4 against Hunter, 5-3 against Druid, mostly being the mirror, and 6-3 against Demon Hunter, and unless they scam you in the early game, you do not have to worry about Demon Hunters. The only other matchup that you really have to worry about is Undead Priest, which isn't really that popular anymore, as well as Frost DK and Unholy DK, which are also matchups that are absolutely fading out of popularity. Blood DK is a little bit of a toss-up matchup, but it's supposed to be super favorable if you know what you're doing, but it's very easy to play into their cards if you are not familiar with the win conditions of this deck. So let's go ahead and go through the card inclusions on why I believe this is the best deck that you can play right now. The shorthand of this deck is that it's essentially Thaddeus Warlock, but with a Druid skin. However, I would argue that because of the inclusion of Hedge Maze, this is a much better version of the deck, and it's also due to the fact that the minions that you're pulling out during your scam turns have some sort of immediate effect. It's not just about, you know, throwing Thaddeus gigantic stats onto the field. The Mosher is the real bread and butter of what makes this deck extremely good, especially when you combine it with Attorney at Maw, being, you know, the easiest way to clear a board by giving it immunity. But there's also the Reno factor of the Fanboy, and this is exactly why I had the start of the video talk about Fanboy, because this is actually an extremely good card because, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 works really well. There's not a lot of situations where you're going to be able to play both in one turn, but you want to just, you know, get the value out of these cards when you do have it. Sometimes you want to use the silence off this card in order to, like, you know, silence like a 1/4 from Warrior or something like that. But more times than not, you are probably going to be using this card in combination with the Mosher because it's just a guaranteed board clear, which is one of Druid's massive weaknesses right now. So you have these gigantic consistent scams that keep bringing you back from the edge of death. And then if you have, you know, even polarities with Thaddeus, you can slap on the Jailer. And I am now hard running the Jailer in this deck instead of just being in the ETC, because this card is a very legitimate way, especially at scamming Warrior decks. If you play double Thaddeus and Jailer against a Warrior, they are just automatically going to lose unless they have a way of killing you with Olgra, for example. So that's the reason why the Jailer is in the deck. So that begs what's in the ETC. What's in the ETC is a Coroner, a Rivendare, and an Azumat. Azumat may look a little bit weird, but there's definitely a reason for it. Coroner is in the deck in order to, you know, be your consistent choice against aggro decks in case you just need to slow them down or maybe stop like a Death Rattle from getting value. Rivendare makes a lot of sense. You are going up against mostly control decks, and this is just another way of scamming the game in case they are able to deal with your Jailer turns. So against the Blood DKs and the Control Priest with like Soul Stealer and Whirlpool, this is your way of being able to add more depth to that game, so that way it's not just play Thaddeus or bust. But you also have Azumat for the mirror in case your opponent does play Jailer, so you have a way of actually destroying that board, or maybe you're going up against aggro and you want to destroy an entire board. Really, I think Azumat is mostly in here in order to stop whatever the Jailer can do. But now we have to ask ourselves, what about the Doomkin? Doomkin is probably the first card that you can cut if you don't actually have this card. I would recommend putting in another Fanboy if you don't. But this card being a one-of makes a lot of sense in order to really hammer in how good you can be against control decks. So case in point, say it is like turn 7, say your opponent's at 7 mana and you are doing the Thaddeus combo with Jailer, since you're on even polarity, since it is an odd turn, and I will go into the specifics of Thaddeus here in a second. But the Doomkin can really help, you know, steal mana from your opponent, so that way you can deny, like, a turn 8 AoE, for example. If you limit your opponent to only being at 7 mana on their 8th turn, then you don't have to worry about Blood DKs, you know, throwing out the Soul Stealer, throwing out the Whirlpool and Control Priest. You can kind of stop that, and that's like the main reason why this card has been pretty good. The other reason why is because we're running cards like Wild Growth, so we are just constantly ramping. So if you have a turn where it's like you play Wild Growth on turn 3 into like Innervate into the Doomkin, that's actually a really good tempo push for you, because you're stopping your opponent from being able to commit anything else onto the board going into the next turn, hopefully. Or at least their turns are going to be a little bit less what they want it to be, and that can make a big difference. 1 mana really can go the distance, so that's the reason why Doomkin is in the list. Now we have to talk about Thaddeus. I get a lot of questions on how the polarities work, and first and foremost, the easiest way to remember it is that if you're on your odd turn, you have even polarities, and if you're on an even turn, you have odd polarities. So another thing to keep in mind with this is its synergies with Finley. So if you have Thaddeus on turn 1, and you're like, I don't want this in my deck, or I don't want this in my hand, I want it at the bottom of my deck so that way I can always pull it. You can play Finley and put it at the bottom, but one thing to remember is that the polarities will this card will reset itself back into the odd cost when you put it back into the deck. I don't know why it does this, but this tripped me up in a game before, and the Thaddeus polarities are extremely important to know which one is which, so that way you're not making an uninformed decision. And that's one thing that I want to drive home before any of you say this deck is all RNG based. No, it is not. The reason why it's not RNG based is because a lot of people are letting the deck play them instead of you playing the deck. There are times where you want to pop off the Death Rattle, there are times where you want to wait, and there are times where you just have to do it as soon as possible because you need the stats or the taunts immediately. Please, if you're going to play this deck, you need to know what your polarities are, so that way you don't let the Thaddeus play you, and so you don't have, like, you know, the odd polarities when you really wanted your even polarities. If you need to wait a turn, don't be afraid to wait a turn if you know that you can bring the game back with like a Fanboy combo or like an Attorney at Maw combo in order to help you stabilize the game. This is the hardest part of the deck to learn, is when to go for the combo and when to just unga bunga it every single game. Because I'll tell you right now, most of the players out there are probably just doing this as soon as they can, and that's not what you're supposed to do every time. But the real strategy of this deck that really makes it better than my list is the fact that we have the consistent ramp. It really does go a long way, because there is one particular string of turns that just really justifies why this is in the deck. So say you have Innervate, Wild Growth, Seedsman, and Nourish. So you can play Innervate Wild Growth on turn 2, Seedsman immediately on turn 3, you can Nourish for mana on turn 4, and by turn 5 you have at least 8 mana to where you can play Womper and Hedgemaze in the same turn and pop off the combo in order to help stabilize. Or maybe there's like some flex turns to where you can fit the Hedgemaze in there before you actually play the Womper, and then you have like a bit of mana to save, so that way you can maybe high roll Thaddeus or play some other cards from your hand. This just makes a lot of sense for the deck in order to give you massive turns after your big payoff, so that way, you know, after your Thaddeus has died because your opponent has the perfect clear, then you at least have some mana to help your next turn. Which is why cards like Kolok can actually be really, really interesting. Because now you have the mana to actually play this card, and this is not just in here because it's an odd card for odd polarities. That's really what's not important here. This is a stabilization card to where if you don't have your Womper ready and you have Hedgemaze on the field, you can at least gain another 8 life from this card. But it seems pretty good to me. I really like the synergies that Kolok helps provide this deck, so as a stabilization tool in order to bridge the gap between your ramp turns and your gigantic pop-off turns. This is, again, another card that you can probably sub out of the deck, but I would argue to try and not do that, because this card has saved me a couple of times. However, again, if you don't like this card, Double Fanboy is absolutely fine. I believe the only reason why Double Fanboy is not in here is like training wheels on a bicycle, you know? Like, you only really need one if you're playing the deck properly, and as I've played about 100 games with this deck, I really haven't missed the other copy because most of the time I want to play the Attorney at Maw combo anyway. So this card is just a really good flexible tool in order to maybe give yourself rush in situations that you need it, but it's mostly here for the lifesteal, so that way you can combo it with Mosher. And if you need 2 of them and you don't have Doomkin or don't want to play Doomkin or don't have Kolok, this is a really good card to put in its place. But I am happy to answer any and all questions that you guys have about this deck down in the comments below, because this is one of my favorite decks of this expansion. And honestly, I'm probably going to try and hit double digits, maybe even single digits if I'm lucky enough with this deck. Probably not going to get that lucky, honestly. But I'm just having a lot of fun with this deck, and I really don't like the conversation that's surrounding it, that it's all RNG based and that it's only about the scam. No, there have been plenty of games that I won without the Whomper. And one other synergy that I want to point out, actually, is when you go for all of the ramping and you still have like Hedge Maze on the field, you can just literally play the Flesh Behemoth for 9 mana, and it'll sometimes be fine because you'll have 9 mana by like turn 4, turn 5 if you've done nothing but ramp. So this deck has a lot of little things about it that are very important to take note. It's not just a simple always do this, always do that. You got to really think about your options and choose some of the best of them, and the only way that you're going to know your options is when you know what your polarities are and know what the possibilities of this deck and what it can do. And don't forget, if you do enjoy this kind of content, feel free to like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel to be notified about any of our future updates. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this deck intro, and we'll see you for the next video. I mean, I don't like the idea of keeping Finley. Are we supposed to keep Finley? But he's got a really bad mulligan win rate, so I guess I just got to get rid of him. Let's go, man.
Ah, I see you've brought guests.
Gotta keep them tuned.
Uh-oh. So coin, nourish, then do this, I think. But at the same time, like, do I really want to take the risk of drawing the Flesh Behemoth?
Party snacks.
And I threw away Finley, so feels bad. Danger. Oh, come on.
For the wild.
Yeah, just make it a little bit weaker. Technically, might have been a waste of a swing. God, I can't think of anything more tilting during those ages. You know, if there are more patches you can find. Okay. As high as you can go.
Little biddle.
Alrighty. Really? If he makes this big enough, I can just trade into it, dude. Don't you want to try and, like, deny the value from this? Now it doesn't even, like, now I don't even need to, dude, this was such a, I don't want to call this a dumb play, but, like, and, like, not even, like, thinking about the minion that's coming out of this, like, at all. Top deck, fanboy, and it's actually just over. Literally didn't even think about this, dude. Would be like, Ramen Rumstein? Yeah, I love Ramstein. Is it Rum? Like R-U-M? Like, or is it Ramstein? Like, how is it actually pronounced? I'm not sure. Okay, so Coroner, maybe? He's about to deal 10 to me. These are actually all kind of irrelevant. Imagine Japanese singing Rammstein lyrics. It goes pretty hard, wouldn't it? I think it'd go pretty hard. But coin this, I literally don't prevent anything. I have to coin this out next turn, and it's a little scary. I don't think I have to worry too much here, right? Oh, shit. I'm still surviving at 1. I'm still surviving at 1.
This one eating party snack.
I really need to find fanboy. Or is this just gonna be enough? He needs Hydrolodon. If I didn't draw the Thaddeus, I'd have a chance after.
The living drop all kinds of things. My blood.
It's not good enough, right? Bananas aren't good enough. This is still lethal. Wow. Woo! Oh my god, what a close game. Jeez, man. It was the worst class in the game at like a 37%, and now it's sitting at a 43%. That is a huge, huge increase in power. I have completely dropped Warrior, and I am a Druid main yet again. This is literally the class that I have the most amount of wins with. You still playing Spell Demon Hunter, Norwis? Hope things are going well. It's been a minute since, oh god, yeah, last time I saw you was in Paris. Jeez. I need to travel more, man. I really need to travel more. Let's go! High roll me, dude. Double Feast of Souls own version. Nice. I think I'm like... Okay, you wanna know what? You just hit 10k. Can we hit 9k today, guys? All I need is 42 more followers and we're at 9k. So we'll be one step behind you, Norwis. We'll be one step behind you. Let's get this 9k today. Maybe I stream until I get the 9k. Getting 40 followers, though, that's kind of a lot. Yeah, I got around 40 today. We've had a decent increase in follows today. All right, just going all in here. Play armor. Do this. We're at 8, 9. Going 10 mana and next turn. But yeah, dude, I'm glad that you're having success, man. You probably put, like, the most amount of time in Hearthstone. Like, literally, probably put the most amount of time in Hearthstone compared to anybody that I know. More than Pocket Train, more than Meaty, more than Pheno. That's saying a lot. Alright, don't care about that. We just cared about ramping. Big Taunty Boy gets in the way. Nothing else we can really do here. Oh my lord. And I like bring in enough money with content creation, then maybe I'll play on multiple... Wait, what is going on? Wait, there's no way. No. No. What are you doing? What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing here, friendo? Really? Double dispose? Turn 5? Turn 5 we're fucking doing this? Mosh. 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 Kolak? Kolak. Kolak silence. Forgot to attack, didn't he? He attacked with the weapon. He attacked with the glaive tar. How does he get through this? He can't deal 7 directly to my face. Already played a predation. I have a 1/3, so that absorbs the Mark of Scorn. Oh my god, dude. Holy crap, that was way too close. Oh my god. Yeah, have a good one, Norris. Thanks for swinging on by, man. Hope to see more of you in the future. Dude, we rolling. We rolling, man. Hitting top 1,000 was the hard part. Getting top 500 is the easy part, apparently. Oh my god. And now I can just fanboy gain more life. And then he's just running out of resources. I gain armor from this too. Is it ever just Jailer for flex? Oh my god. This Kolak is a very strong shell. He's a very strong boy indeed. Very strong boy. Why are you still here? Why are you still here? This is a concede game for you now. This is literally a concede game for you now. It's over. It's over, bro. It's all ogre now. There you go. That's how you do it. Yeah, I didn't have all the 0 amount of spells. Honestly, the only reason why I didn't die on turn 5, the only reason I didn't die on turn 5 is because he didn't have Through Fell in Flames. But now I'm sitting at a comfortable 21. His win condition is gone. Gladori Warband. Oh, you have the removal for it? Okay, hold on. Hold on. Hold on a minute. Top deck, Innervate? We have one on the bottom, so it's kind of unlikely. Oh my god, wait a minute. Hey. Okay, that Mosher is just better. Or actually, no, it's not. And this is why. Because I can Thaddeus do this and do this in the same turn. So, get wrecked, son. I'll go ahead and remove one of these. Cause why not? It's over, Demon Hunter! Clark has the high ground. Yeah, I guess, you know, I'm fine with getting hit with a lightsaber and, you know, when I'm 80 years old. I had a good run at that point. I had a good run if I can hit 80, so if this guy wants to find me in a couple of years and, you know, be the Darth Vader to my Obi-Wan Kenobi, then, you know, at least I had a fruitful life. God, imagine Sinful Brand still in the meta, dude. Oh my lord, he actually cleared. I mean, hey, A+ for trying, I guess. Now you may safely concede. There's like absolutely no way, right? Are Spell Demon Hunters the new aggro druid where they just don't concede until the very end of the game? I think this guy's really trying because he wants to top 1,000. Top 1,000 makes a lot of sense. This and to deal a heal for 12. I'm at least gonna give him credit for like making this attempt because like double AoE is actually kind of scary. I'm glad that I didn't play Jailer when I did. Oh my lord. Like, he literally did. Oh my god, what? Doesn't matter, though. How is he gonna kill me? This is not. Literally, this puts the most amount of stats on the field. Going for the Riven there. Puts the most amount of stats on the field. Tempo Riven Dare. The Tempo Riven Dare win condition. Oh my god. I have the best hindsight in Hearthstone, and I feel like everybody does, so that doesn't make you special. That's another way to become a good player. But there's no foresight when it comes to drawing this badly. If I end up hitting the other womp womp. Yeah, this deck is definitely not straightforward, man. Every freaking turn, almost every decision matters. Especially in, like, you know, Blood DK matchups. 0 Force in. Lul. So that's still good. Uh-oh. Whoa, boy. Calm down there, Speed Racer. I am probably about to get rolled, aren't I? I have Fanboy when I need an attorney. I don't think he's got it. This would just be an insta-play, right? So he doesn't have it. I think I just want to hit him in the face. He'll have the value immediately, and I want him to make it as awkward. I want to make it as awkward as possible. So yeah, we just smack him. Am I the gamer that's about to get smacked? Because like in the mirror, you need to like set up the big combo. I think he's literally about to do it. But if I get Jailer, there's no way. There's no way. Okay, okay. Please be merciful. He's playing all the 0 mana cards in the effort of trying to. Hold on, what turn is this? We both ramped a lot already. Oh my god, dude. I actually have to like start counting my turns against the mirror, so that way I know what polarity whoever is. I played only Nourish as my only ramp. So it's odd polarities. Oh shit. Oh, it's oh, Jailer.
Hi, I'm Saul Goodman. Did you know that you have rights? The Constitution says you do.
As you can see, my client is... Are you?
No regrets! Always punished! I'm pretty sure it's Pacey Boy on Twitter. You go infinite with Fizzle, Power Core... Belit... Oh my god! Going infinite with Fizzle, Power Chord, and Belish. How do you deal damage, though? With Hedonis, right? Either OTA, yeah, Adonis Burst, or play a bunch of Mind Shears. Actually, Gigabrained. My god. Okay, oh my god, do I do it? Do I do it? Do I do it? Do I do it? Ah, man. I didn't find it. Do I pick ETC? I don't think so. Alright, I wanted to try and find the lawyer. I wanted to try and find the lawyer, because I've done it like the past 3 times, and it's so funny. What an actual Giga Chad, dude. My god. What an actual Giga Chad. I hate leaving this alone, but I mean, I'm playing this on 5 already. So what is he talking about? He's talking about playing Adonis OTK, but the way that you make it into an actual OTK is that you can go infinite with Fizzle, Power Chord Synchronize, and Priestess Valish. And you can either use Adonis or you can use Mind Shear in order to kill the Valish a whole bunch of times. Oh my god, this is so... Oh my god! Whoa! Whoa, my... Dude! Calm it down! I mean, this is the only way that the warrior can beat me is what he's doing right now, dude. Okay, 10, 12, 14, 14, 17. Not dead. You can easily bring this back. It's turn 5, which means even polarities. This may seem wrong, but if I get Thaddeus, then okay.
You're both #1 to me. I dare say, I seem to have lost the service.
And I drew Jailer. No way I lose, right? How does he deal 5? Remornia's not enough.
Vengeance for the banquet.
Was the only shot. Was the only shot that he had. He did deserve it, man. I feel bad. He totally deserved it.